Yorana, Yorana team Hanape. Happy Friday, everyone. Moino here, CEO and co-founder of POLY-lingual Reo Tahiti. Hope you guys are doing great. For the ones who are in the USA, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving yesterday, maybe with your friends and family. And for everybody else from all over the world, we are at the end of the week. And I'm so excited because tomorrow we will launch our 2 ebooks. I'm not sure if you guys have time to look at all of our posts. We've been announcing this for about a week now. And tomorrow, stay tuned because we will be live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, my husband and I, because we'll talk about the ebook. But today, it's not about the ebook today. Today, we're talking about Reo and Ori. Reo and Ori, and we will be welcoming Desiree from O HINA'ARO NUI, a group from up north, California, here in the United States. I see Desiree, she's connected. Desiree, I'm gonna send you an invite right now and jump in anytime. And in the meantime, I just want to say Yorana to everybody. Hey, Yorana, Desiree.
Hey, Yorana.
You're here.
I'm here. Maruru moeno, maruru roa.
Of course. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation for this live. I really, really appreciate you, Desiree. And thank you for your time. I know you're busy, very busy person. With your group, and you're a mom too, so I know what it is.
We make it work. We balance somehow, some way.
I know, right? We make it work. That's
right.
all about that. Well, anyways, let me welcome everyone first. Thank you so much for joining. I see people from Mexico, from Australia, from the US, of course. Welcome to all of you guys. And I see from France as well. I recognize some of the accounts. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and please everyone help me welcome Desiree to our live with like, I don't know, with hearts or emojis, whatever you want. We want to welcome her for this special session. Thank you so much. All right, let's start. We won't waste too much time.
All right.
This live will be in English, but if I see there's a lot of people from France, I may translate the interview, the session, but we'll see. I know there's a lot of people from Mexico, but unfortunately I don't speak Spanish yet. Maybe I'll say yet. So so it will be probably, we'll see. Let's just do in English for now, and if we have people from France, s'il y a des personnes qui viennent de France, faites-le moi savoir, comme ça je vais faire la traduction en français si vous voulez. Sinon, on fera l'interview uniquement en anglais. All right? Okay, let's start. All right, thank you so much, Desiree. So let me introduce you guys, Desiree. I've known Desiree for a couple years now. And I had a lot of admiration with all the work that she does. And so Desiree was, of course, once an Ori Tahiti dancer and still is. She still dances. And she's an Ori Tahiti group leader. She has her own group. She managed that group with her, along with her husband, Kristopher. I'm sure a lot of people a lot of you know Kristopher. He's really well known as a drummer, as a musician, as a singer. He's very, very talented. If you ever heard him singing, he sounds very, very much like a Tahitian. Desiree is a mom of a beautiful daughter. Her daughter has a beautiful, beautiful name. I'm so in love with her name. Her name is Uratea. And so she's been actually a student at POLY-lingual, learning Reo Tahiti, but she's a student of everything because she really thinks that learning, you know, it never ends. You know, we always have something to learn. There's never a point where we like it's a final stage, right? And that's what I like about Desiree. So Desiree, we will talk about Reo and Ori Tahiti, which is, this is our live, right? Our live talk. And so I wanted to ask you to share with us, share your story. And I wanted you to share with all of us your experience as a dancer, a group leader, as a studio owner, regarding the relationship or the connection between the Reo Tahiti and dance. I want you to share with me what was your experience as a dancer, and what are the struggles that you had through all through these years.
Okay. Well, back when I first started dancing with Namenzo, Reo Tahiti wasn't something that was accessible. We didn't have it in the form of teaching or understanding the language. We had it in the form of aparima or music, and that's all we really had access to. And whatever resources that you had to translate it, that's how you got, everything done back then. So first off, maruru e maruru roa to you, Steve, POLY-lingual, for creating this opportunity for everyone across the world to even have access to it. It's such a gem and such a special part of Ori Tahiti. So in the beginning, it was a struggle. Some words for myself, I found a connection with through the Hawaiian language.
Yes.
Because hula is my first background. It's taught to me by my grandma and so forth and so on. So I spent my younger years as a hula dancer, and so the language, the minimal Hawaiian language that I grew up with, some of it had a lot of relation with Reo Tahiti and a closer relation with the pronunciation. And that's how I gravitated, but I didn't actively start learning it until I stepped foot into the conservatoire for my first time on the international student level. And they were using the words ato, awi, mua, muri. And that's when I realized this needs to be full circle. We can't just in the Ori Tahiti community and being privileged to be through a few hevas and being in a group setting where English is not the first language spoken. It's either French or, when I got lucky, Reo Tahiti for directions. That was my biggest movement and realization that I was missing a big part, and not just for myself, but for everyone in the Ori Tahiti community that's not from the Whenua or not, Reo Tahiti is not part of their language background.
Right.
So when you had that opportunity open up, and especially at a time through COVID, I was like, I got to get on it. And I have to make that commitment in order to be able to share the experience of the struggles that I had trying to learn it and trying to understand it, and give a different perspective for my students to have that for them. So that's my experience so far with Reo Tahiti and Ori Tahiti. And it's a constant process. We don't ever stop learning.
Exactly. Oh, I love this. Desiree, I love that you're talking about that you use the Hawaiian language kind of like a base, because it's true that the Hawaiian language it's part of the South Pacific. Of course, we're all cousins, through history, and even our languages are very, very similar. I actually don't know much about Hawaiian language, but I know a couple words, and I of course can see the similarities. It's so close, but still different. But I love that you kind of like use whatever you have, and then figure out like, okay, how can I use Tahitian, and that's really trying to figure yourself out, right? Find a way to implement Tahitian. And I love that you're talking about your experience in Tahiti at the Conservatoire for and realizing that, wait a minute, there's language involved in this whole Ori Tahiti. I got to do something about it. That's awesome. And then I have a question regarding your students. How are they now that you've been investing yourself, learning a little bit more about the Tahitian language, and how do you implement that with your student? How are you having that conversation with your students?
For the most part, I have the conversation daily whenever we have practice, especially primarily with my tamari'i.
Yes.
And I do give some time to my older class, but you know, it's that shift of structure of the type of people. And the thing with the kids is that I believe that I can turn one
Yes.
to be a non-Tahitian native, to not only love Ori Tahiti, but love Reo Tahiti, then it's just one person more stepping on that platform to increase the exposure, to increase awareness. So I do put a lot of time with the kids for Reo Tahiti, and you know, through colors, te mau'u, through directions and turning, you know, and they respond back rather quickly.
Yeah,
so it's nice to see.
I love that. Oh my gosh, the two things you're sharing here are very, very powerful. First, by saying the one student is already a lot. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And you know, if you can like inspire one person to do that, to go beyond the Ori Tahiti, you're already one. Because that's the first step, right? It's that one step ahead that you're doing. That's amazing. And then yes, the tamari'i, the younger ones, or I gotta say it's definitely easier. Believe me, because I'm a teacher myself. So what I'm teaching, I teach adults, but I teach children too. But my children, I'm not teaching children outside of my house yet. But with my kids, kids, they have a brain like a sponge, right? It's so much easier for them to memorize. And the older you get, like me, I have a hard time with memorization. So it's harder. But I love that you started with your kids. This is amazing. That's great. And started with like small things like vocabulary, the colors, and I saw one of your recital, I think it was 2 years ago or a year ago, where your kids were doing the alphabet. I thought that was genius.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Desiree, for doing this. This is like really something that I really admire with you, because, you know, for doing that effort of transmitting that knowledge to your class. I love that. Now I have another question. According to your dancer, your older dancers, or I'm not talking about the tamari'i, but even younger dancers like teens and up, you're teaching them the basics of the Ori Tahiti, but of course, the more they grow in their journey in the Ori Tahiti, the more you want them to go a little bit deeper, you know, understand the meaning of the song, you know, that those are all the steps like deeper, you know, like beyond the Ori Tahiti. My question is, if the Reo Tahiti is to yours, like if for you it's super important, do you think that it will make a huge difference as an Ori Tahiti dancer in its journey? Do you think it will make a big difference? Let's just say like we have two dancers, one dancer who just learned the basics, the technique, and is good at it, and that's it. And then another dancer who's like learning the technique, same thing, but he's going beyond and learning the Reo Tahiti and all the aspects of the elements that completes the Ori Tahiti. What do you think it will? Do you think it will make an impact or a big difference?
Absolutely, absolutely. It creates a more round, complete value of an Ori Tahiti dancer. And through my own experience of not having a Reo Tahiti accessible in my first beginnings, and now having it accessible and seeing how it comes together with the tamari'i, the dance and the language, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't want to be complete.
Yes.
For me, if you are wanting to be the best dancer, it's not just the best for your technique. It's the best of your involvement through all aspects of Ori Tahiti, whether it's dance, language, music, pehe. You have to not be perfect at every aspect, but at least absorb and keep an open mind on each end, so that it builds you to be a more well-rounded Ori Tahiti dancer.
Oh, yes, I love that. It completes, right? It completes everything. And we all know that Ori Tahiti, it's not all about technique. There's so many aspects, you know, that surround the Ori Tahiti, and yeah, the Reo Tahiti is one of them since we're talking about it. Now, you know, I've talked with so many Ori Tahiti professors, you know, teachers from around the world, and they told me that, hey, you know what, we don't always have the time, you know, to teach the language, because at the end of the day, it's an Ori Tahiti class, right? It's a dance class, not a language class. But we know that all these elements are important. So they are like, I'm working with them right now. I'm trying to figure out like how can we implement, you know, the Reo Tahiti in class. And I would like to ask you, like, what do you think? Do you think we can implement Tahitian in class and not turn an Ori Tahiti class into a language class? Because that's not the point. We're not trying to do that. The Ori Tahiti is still the Ori Tahiti, but we just want to bring those things to complete. But how do you think we can implement that, in your opinion, as your experience as a teacher?
For myself and for what we do in O HINA'ARO NUI is that I begun with them learning how to introduce themselves to begin with.
Yes.
You know, just the basic, because you don't know who you're going to meet along the way in the Tahitian culture or surrounding the Tahitian culture, whether it's a jury member or someone visiting from Tahiti. You know, both Chris and I want our dancers to be able to speak a simple sentence of Yaurana or Desiree To'ui, or simple, you know, and I feel like if we can implement at the start with that, and then, you know, do your directions, that should be something that I think it just goes hand in hand. Dance and directions, easy for us to say it in our own native language, English or whatever our native language is,
yeah.
But to actively repeat it, ato, awi, puri, rere, otohe, they in turn, dancers will recognize it faster. And what I do from there is to encourage them to repeat it back to me, to say it, because if you hear it, you understand it. But if you don't actively express it out of your own mouth,
yes,
then you're always going to have this hesitation of whether you understand the language or whether you're getting the language. So that's one of my own personal hurdles of learning Reo Tahiti, is to speak. If I don't speak it, then how am I going to remember it?
Yes, that's so awesome. Yeah, I love that. Yes, introducing ourselves is a good one. I do, even with my own students, I do, like, that's one of the first lesson I teach. It's all about identity. So yes, this is a good point. It's good to at least know that. And even if it's one simple sentence, I love the way you're proceeding, Desiree, because you're really thinking like on something simple and quick to learn. 1%, one sentence, you know, you're not like, oh, let's steal the entire language. That's not the whole point, and we don't have time for that. But yes, I love that. And I have another questions for, so you say you're focusing on introducing yourself and then the directions. So you think that directions are definitely something that as an Ori Tahiti dancer, it's a must, right?
Absolutely, because it's not only as a dancer, but as a instructor that is not of the native culture.
Yes.
If we're going to be promoting and growing another culture that is not of ours by nature or by blood, then we should be honoring that culture with its language.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, for me, my background is hula, so that's where I get that discipline from, of the need for it. And you've made it so accessible for us that I'm like, okay, we have it. Now let's keep encouraging, keep pushing it.
I know it's true, because I told my student all the time that it's one thing to have the knowledge, you know, to access to all that thing, the resources that we created, but it's one thing to take action, you know, it's one thing to implement that. And I really hope, like, with even this live that I'm having with you, it's gonna inspire everyone to take action. This is the hardest part, honestly. It takes a lot to gather all the resources work, more, not work, but more effort in your own self to take action and really implement. And you gave the example of speaking. It's one thing to listen what you say, but speaking and actually truly like use your body to express what the language, you know, is asking for you to say, then it's another step. Wow, I love that. So the question I ask everybody, all the guests I had on this live is that why do you think the Reo Tahiti is important? Even though you kind of answer already that, but I would love you to summarize a little bit, like why, if I we're like having a conversation with someone who's new in the Ori Tahiti, what would you say to that person? And in the idea of like why the Reo Tahiti is so important to implement or to complete your journey in the Ori Tahiti?
I would tell them that without Reo Tahiti, without the basic knowledge of Reo Tahiti, then how do we grow in a culture? Well, we will be so limited to just doing Otea tu pehe.
Yes.
We wouldn't know what an aparima is really saying, you know, what the words are expressing. And if you just dance it based on choreography, are you really putting your heart and your vulnerability out to allow someone who doesn't know the language to understand what you're trying to express? We have to constantly work at, you know, what that language means, what the aparima means, you know, even still pulling up a dictionary, you know, to get those basic, you know, words that I don't really have familiarity with. I'll pull it up and then I will put it in the sentence and try to figure out exactly where is that story going, because it's not a literal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So my hope and my recommendation for somebody who's just getting started in Ori Tahiti is to learn the language. And now more than ever, it is so accessible that there really is no excuse.
No excuse.
Back in the day when a lot of us first started in the Ori Tahiti community, it was hard. It was difficult. You had your maybe one or two resources that you could go to, and you know, you relied on their time to get back to you with a translation, or you know, what it meant for them versus what it meant for somebody else.
Oh yes. Oh, that's a good point.
So I've seen both sides of that spectrum, and now that it's accessible, you know, where I literally have it at my fingertips, I'm all in. Like we have to constantly encourage our own selves to want to learn more.
Oh my goodness, Desiree, you're sharing so much wisdom with us right now, and I really appreciate that you really thought through everything, and I think it's because of your experience, you know, as an Ori Tahiti dancer and teacher. It makes a whole difference. Thank you so much for sharing. I would like to ask one more thing. I will talk to you like I'm not tired to talk to you right now.
You can keep going.
Yeah, I want to keep on going. There's so much, you know. I thought, like, I dream about it, like I wish we can all be in one place and just like debate, you know, and talk and share our stories, our experience, because there's so much to share, and we never had that opportunity. And this is one of the reasons why I started these lives, because I thought it was a need, not only for myself, for my team, for my husband, but for everybody. Everybody needs to hear and to share or to speak, right? So thank you so much for sharing all this. I'm taking notes of everything you're saying.
Maruru to you and Steve. It's such, and like I said in the beginning, I mean, a gem is just one way of expressing how valuable polylingual is and what that means for a lot of us in the Ori Tahiti community. So maruru to you folks.
Thank you so much for saying that. We're doing our best, seriously, but we just understand that there's a serious need out there. And as many times Steve and I, we talk about, like a couple of years ago, we said we got to do something. And again, it's all about taking action. You know, it's one thing to say, but in one thing to do it. And so I'm really glad we're helping people. That's our number one priority. But we constantly making sure that it's really helping, because it's one thing to put the content out there, but We really want to make sure that, is it really helping, or are people using this, you know? So that's why also I want to keep that relationship with all of you guys. You, for example, personally, because you're an action taker person, so you're the best person to work with. You're the best person to work with. So
I try my best to keep it going.
We're all doing our best, huh? It's not about perfection, it's about progression, right? It's not about perfection, it's progression. I have, what is your final message, if you have to speak and give a message to all the Ori Tahiti dance studios, Ori Tahiti dancers, I mean to the entire Ori Tahiti community, what would be your message to them?
Don't stop learning. Always forever remember that we are students of the culture, whether it is through dance, music, language. We have to remind ourselves daily, actively remind ourselves that there's still more to learn. There's still more to learn about the culture in its entirety, not just the dance. So once we get to that point where you can allow yourself to be vulnerable, to continue to learn, that's when the progression actually starts moving in the direction that you dream of. So always remember it. That's what I tell my students every single competition, every time they get hesitant. We're forever students.
I love it. Oh, and you know what? I actually learned that from you, believe it or not, always being a student. You know, when I was a young person, I was so naive. I thought, okay, you get to a point where you know everything. And then that's it, you arrive at the final destination. But then I realized growing up that the more I think I know, the more I realize I don't know a lot of stuff. It's funny.
And we got to be ready to be uncomfortable, right? Like,
exactly.
You know, if you reach your comfort level, I'm always at the point where now, okay, what can I do next? There has to be another challenge, another level that is available. And there always is. In some way, shape, or form, there's always something else.
It's amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Desiree. Oh, I love this discussion with you. You do. I'm already a big fan, you know, of what you do. That's why I had to have you on this live series, because I've been kind of like following your journey, even though I'm far physically from you.
Oh, I know, too far.
Yes, too far. But I do, you know, watch and see what you guys do, and I hope that I can support you as much as I can. And it's hard, of course, because time is always the problem. It's always a limit, but I hope that I will be supporting you with everything, you know, I'm doing, you know, to progress, for you to progress in your journey in the Ori Tahiti community and Ori Tahiti world, if I should say that. So last thing, Desiree, how can we support you as a Ori Tahiti community? I know I've been like giving you a lot of resources with Reo Tahiti, but how can we as the Ori Tahiti community in general, not just me personally, how can we support you with your journey as an Ori Tahiti dancer, teacher, whatever you guys do?
Support and follow O HINA'ARO NUI on social media. You know, we're back hybrid, hybrid, virtual and in person in our studios. And if you ever just want to drop in, even if it's from another group, it's another stigma that both Chris and I are just trying to close up. Yes. That if you just want to come in and dance, come in and dance.
Why
you want
not?
to come in and share, come in and share. Because that's how it is back in Tahiti. That's our experience. So
it's totally,
you know, we're slowly trying to bring that gap closer together. But yeah, we don't have anything upcoming. Just give us a follow. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, and we just love to hear from anybody.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Desiree, you guys just had your recital like not too long ago, huh? Was it last weekend or the weekend before? I forgot.
Monday. No, Tuesday. Sorry, past Tuesday.
Past Tuesday. And is there a way for us to, are you guys gonna put this on YouTube or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
we streamed it on YouTube on Tuesday, and it's up on YouTube now live. I mean, it's accessible. You can
Okay,
go ahead and
sure.
give it a watch. Please watch it. I had the Tamari'is recite our Iho Tata'u in Reo Tahiti. And that's for me, that was my heart that just went there, because it's an extension of an opportunity that you and Steve have given to all of us to have access to Reo Tahiti. So I'm super
Yay!
proud of them, and yeah, give it a like.
That's perfect.
Keep it
I'll
coming.
be the first one to watch. I have to watch because I missed it, of course. But yeah, okay, awesome. Everyone, you heard Desiree. Follow them on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. And I forgot to mention something about Kristopher. He, I think it was during the pandemic 2 years ago or a year ago, he was sharing, I kind of follow as well, something, a live streaming every weekend about drumming. I thought that was genius, and I thought that was very nice of him to share that knowledge, because so many people, especially the ones who are starting, had no idea how drumming, you know, works. And that was very, very, I want to say thank you publicly to Kristopher for doing this, because sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
And the pandemic has taught us a lot about
Yeah.
just that fact, right?
Yes.
So we can't stop just because we're slowly getting out of it. This is the time where we have to share even more.
Exactly. I enjoyed it, even though I'm not a drummer, but I follow like 1 or 2 lives. It was fun, you know, and I learned some stuff too. Like I had no idea, even though it doesn't mean I'm from Tahiti, I'm Tahitian, I know everything. But it was a new area, like a new area that I never, you know, took the time to learn. And it was so much fun. So thank you so much, Kristopher, on my behalf and everybody else who had the chance to follow him during that time. So Marurumet Eya Oe Desiree, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this discussion, and I hope in the future we'll have more because it's so important to have those conversations. I think it's helping, but it feels good, you know, it feels good to talk about it.
Well, maruru and marururo, once again, it's such an honor and privilege to be a part of this platform that you and Steve have started. And yeah, I look forward to the next one, and hopefully one day in person.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'm all about in person. Virtual, that's the only thing we can do right now, but in person is so much better. And I'm a hugger, so I'll be hugging everybody every time.
I miss all of that.
All right. Thank you so much, Maruru.
All right, Maruru.
Have a great weekend. Nana.
Nana.